Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be getting down tonight. One of my new friends, new brothers. Oh, actually, we're ancient. Patrick McCormick's here. And we're going to be speaking about seeing life as God. What is this red on my face? I must have bit myself or something. Maybe something bit me. Welcome to Center of Light Radio, Center of Divine Enfoldment and Reinforcement. Strap in all my brother and sister astronauts as we launch for Inner Space, Center of Light Radio. Radio to ignite the soul and the transformation station. I'm very excited about speaking with Patrick and Kartron tonight. I've watched him for the last few months, and I couldn't wait to have my turn, my crack at it. So we're going to crack open this nut, crack open this gate, and we're going to fall into a very magical, metaphysical, mystical space. I'm looking forward to it. Last night, I just gotta, y'all. I gotta share this with you. Listen to this. Wow. Last night, myself and about 10, 12 others, we had a conversation, with God, a conversation with the divine, yogi. First God realized energy to ever plant his feet on the earth. This is his 9th incarnation, and he's here to liberate the world. It was fantastic. Not here as a savior to liberate the world. Here as a lamplight so we can follow suit. It was magical. He blasted me with energy quite a few times, and when it happens, I go away. I go very far away. I go very far inside in that place where it's infinite. And when I'm around Swamiji, it's very effortlessly. It's effortless for me to fall into that place and to follow him into the moving river of life and consciousness. And finally, before we take our small break and come back and bring a guest on, let's see, here it is. October 9th. We're going to do some PCP, y'all. Power, Connection, Purpose. 6-week bust you wide open course. Online video form like you see right now. 4 models for alignment. I designed this to where you will have an immediate experience. Question and answer. Throughout the entire 6 weeks course, if it's during the day and you see me online and you have a question about something you're working on, all you got to do is hit me up. Very small fee is required. It is small compared to what you would pay for such power in an online course. Trust me. But what it really requires is all of you. But once you're in it, you are committed. Anything you say can and will be held again you. If I have to, I will pick you up and throw you into the moving river. Because I love you. And you're loved beyond measure. My newest love, literary love, is coming out. And it is here. July 31st. Worldwide publishing, worldwide distribution with John Hunt's Publishing, 6th Books Division, Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. Wow, I love it. I will be keeping you posted as things move along, and they are, trust me, they are moving, dear Lord, they are moving. I have a fantastic opportunity. Rear its beautiful head today. I'm not going to divulge that just yet. I don't like jumping the gun. I don't like guns, period. But I like jumping. All right, let's see what we're going to play. How about some Lavender Soul? Let's see what time it is. Yeah, right on it. Perfect in every way. That's what you are. You are perfect in every way. Don't let the monkey mind try to fool you. You're beautiful, sexy, human critter. Lavender Soul. Backside of this song, I'm going to bring on my guest, Mr. Patrick McCormick. Seeing life as God.
There's a time to trust, and a time to love, and a time to know who you are. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate who you are. Perfect in every So it's up to you, a plan to make, to promise yourself you'll celebrate. There's a time to love, and a time to trust, and a time to know you are loved. Time to know you are loved. So let the love of God on you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate what you are. It's time to celebrate who you are. It's time to celebrate that you are.
Welcome back to Center of Light Radio. Right now in the forum, I am posting a link to Paranormal Chronicles magazine. Let me get my guest on. He's calling me. Hello, Patrick. I'm just doing the final advert. Give me one moment. I just posted a link in the forum that is to Paranormal Chronicles magazine. In the magazine, it's a gorgeous magazine. The articles are fantastic. All the graphics are fantastic. I have an advert for Center of Light Radio, as well as a full page spread for my book coming out in July of 2020. Check it out. Let me tell you a little bit about my guest tonight. Let's get down to some Center of Light Radio business. Who is Patrick McCormick and Kartron? Kartron is an interdimensional being here to assist humanity to embrace and embody its true divine potential. I'm digging it already. He is channeled by Patrick McCormick, who has worked and communicated with the higher realms of creation for over 30 years. After channeling various divine beings, archangels, and ascended masters, engineers from motherships, divine councils, and heavenly hosts, Patrick began channeling Kartron in 1994 to restore the divine plan for the earth and humankind by correcting time itself. Kartron does not just give information from the other side. He conducts transformational energy work for spiritual improvements in people's lives. The current transmissions from Kartron involve training those who are now awakening and to their true purpose, aligned with heaven on earth. Welcome back. Welcome back. Well, welcome back, sir. Welcome back to you and I coming together after all this divine time. Are we depleting it as well? How are you doing, sir? Unmute your mic, my friend. Patrick, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. You have to unmute your mic. I love it. Still can't hear you. Nope. I think his mic is muted. I tell you what, let's disconnect and I'll call you back. It could be an issue. I'll call you back. Yeah. All right, welcome to Center of Light Radio, everyone. Keith Anthony Blanchard here, calling my guest. There he is.
Hi.
Hey, my brother, how are you this evening? By the way, your background looks amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there we go. Hi. Yeah, this is called Safety Harbor in Florida.
You've lived there all your life?
No, not at all. I've been traveling since 2013 on a quantum road trip, which is basically to take the divine sciences and apply them in physical life to see if I could take those principles of the paradigm of divine abundance and actually apply them in a physical life. And it's working. And it's interesting because I started out with a very high flow, and I said, I'm going to come into the flow that most light workers are in, where you can basically you do no wrong and everything's great, but then to come into this level and create a trail and create a system like an exodus so that other beings can then start getting up to that level where there is magic and enchantment and stuff. There really is a dimension of that stuff where you get a perfect flow, and that's closer to the soul signature, the soul group level that light workers are notoriously. Because we're dropped down into this reality for different reasons. But this isn't our native environment to have such polarity and negativity, even though some of us are here to clean it up. But a lot of beings that would like to go home, now we're looking at how to create an exodus to get them at least to that dimension where their lives can start improving. They can remember their dreams, get their destinies jump started again. And that's why I brought in this seeing life as God theme, to help people get to the simple part of seeing your own life as God does.
That was a question I was going to pose to you because I didn't, and it's a double entendre, which is beautiful because there's more information in it. I didn't know if the title "Seeing Life as God was, which it is, seeing life as God does, seeing life as God, or seeing your life as an unfoldment of God. So I like the double bang there.
Yeah, everything that comes through for this work, sometimes I don't even get information. I'll just get the title and I'm like, okay, let's have Kartron fix it. Whatever you do, whatever you're supposed to. And so there's usually multiple layers of meaning. So this one is like seeing life as God sees us is kind of like the part of the sentence that isn't spoken. But yeah, it's about how to see everything through the eyes of divinity, basically.
You
And
know,
there's
I,
reasons.
I, I can
Oh,
see what's happening to you. I introduced Patrick, and I really don't know you. I introduced Patrick, and all of a sudden I see Kartron already coming in, dovetailing. Of course, you might still be in your Patrick essence, more so than moving into the Kartron experience. But there's definitely an integration. You're not just per se channeling some being. It is you at a higher nature. So I mean, I'm seeing this integration. Would that be a true statement, sir?
yes, but transmissions and interaction between the different dimensional realms come in so many flavors. So, I mean, you will even see people with one eye different than the other. That's where one soul is hosting another for whatever reason. And because that one can't or is not able to or not really allowed to come in to fully experience. So there's a lot of different ways to interact. And in my case, in 1987, during the harmonic convergence on Bell Rock in Sedona at 3:30 in the morning, the spirit of Patrick was pulled out and a walk-in thing came in. It was more like a hit and run. And so that allowed me, that kind of jump-started my spiritual journey. And then after that, a series of events led me to all these interesting levels. And that's what you get for asking, Keith. The universe says, okay, here you go. So you got to be really
I
aware of
know
what
that I know
you
that
want.
experience very well, my friend, because it's your what happened to you is exactly what happened to me differently. One night in 1990, one morning in 1996, after playing 7 sets at a casino, I'm a musician by trade, and I'm dog tired. And a few weeks before, I was on my knees because I was in a dark night of the soul, and I need to hear your voice, and I was so passionate and sincere. And that morning, I heard, "Good morning, Keith. It's time for you to wake up." And there's no one in the house. So I figured it was just a dream voice. I closed my eyes, lay back in the bed, and "Good morning, Keith. I asked you to wake up." And I was thrown into an absolute experience. I heard the voice, smelled the voice, tasted the voice, feel the voice. I could see the voice. It was everything, everywhere. I knew all the molecules, where they came from, where they were, and where they were going. And so this was a super conscious experience for me. So I know
Uh-huh.
exactly. I know the dance.
Were you able to identify the who, what, where, when, why, how of the experience, like who was doing it, what realm or whatever they're from?
Yes, this was not a channel. This was an absolute experience. I was standing before the Godhead as maybe as I would know it to be, at least to that point in my life. There was nothing that was not me. It was in every fiber of my clothing. It was in the molecules. I knew the molecules, where they came from, why they are here, where they're going next. And what it, quote, wanted from me was to go sit on my sofa and press record on my tape player and let my mouth move. And but when it gave me this information, it didn't speak to me linearly. It was all imbued in one thought, and in this one thought was everything. So it wasn't like fragmented thought, thought that follows thought that follows thought. This was whole thought. It was packed with information. It was encrypted with light language, futuristic events, so forth and so on. It was a packet of serious light.
So it was a compressed data packet, like a flash drive. And so a zip drive came down and then it spread out in all directions.
That would be a good analogy. Absolutely.
Because they compress it, make it simple. It's like a lot of times spirits will travel as orbs, because if you got arms and legs and you're non-corporeal, that could be a lot more less efficient, right?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot my keys. Oh God, I can't hold my keys because I need arms. Oh, don't forget the arms. So they got their own problem. And so yeah, there's really interesting things. And so were you able to capture all that information, or did it come so hard and so fast, coming in hot? Here comes Keith's next level, and suddenly you're going, oh my God, I'm out of ink, my kingdom for a paper or something like that. Were you able to transmit it and record it perfectly?
Yes, I would say that this happened in a matter of 10 seconds. And that's pushing it. In 10
And
seconds.
so then,
But in
yeah,
that
and then
10 seconds, it was a no time. There was nothing. There was no time. It was just there and it was gone. It was very fleeting. But even though it was fleeting, it was so full. It was full of itself, and I was full of it. Seriously.
now I just have you realized yet, by the way, with this type of stuff that was in no time, that you can take that little pearl and you can move it anywhere in the time. Like you could run into it in 2 months if you wanted, in case you needed another hit. So I'm just letting you know that it's not chronologically relevant. It can be moved about. Just saying.
Sure, and like you, as I am with you, I see you falling even further and further and further. At least that's what it seems to me. When I do my work, like now, as soon as I close my eyes, I'm not Keith Blanchard anymore. The integration that happens for me, probably like with you, the intervals, the window between, is shortening if there's any window left. So when I intend to go within to tap in, I feel that level of divine bliss, divine joy, divine presence. I'm what I know as me with open eyes and walking around, beating my feet in this earth, melts into nothing.
Yeah, it's like there's going to be a new level for beings like us. And so it's not a warning, it's more like a notice, so that you guys can be ready for what's about to happen, because this is going to be very profound and kind of like the experiences that I did my little walk-in thing where it felt like my face was being pulled apart, and you got your wonderful download after you were so fatigued you couldn't fight back. This is going to really amplify and bring up the thing. So the event horizon between who we are in our bodies and our existences on all the levels is going to become very interesting. There's a few odd things going on compared to the way life was, which is chronological, one life after another, going through these experiences. And so besides the brain melting and time no longer working as a reference, I don't know if anybody else is starting to get these little time slips. Like I've seen a couple times, I'm starting to kind of see an event just a moment before it happens. And what I'm getting is that they're showing me how to be completely available to be in that eternal moment, so that you can make these decisions that will not only keep you in a better way, but give you opportunities, because an opportunity can flow by, kind of like a purpose. It'll just flow by. And if you're not there at that moment, and you're out in your phone or in the past or the future, then you might not be fully available to receive it because, it's becoming liquid. The hologram is becoming liquid as we get into the higher realms. Does that explain it a little bit?
That painted the picture. That's how I would have said it.
I just channeled you.
You just channeled me.
Oh yeah, I channeled Keith.
Bro, you're really good to be channeling me because I keep my Wi-Fi secure.
Well, actually, yes, and you did not share. No passwords were shared during the making of this hologram. And so, as you get on the same wavelength, the things Kartron says and the things I transmit for this is like there's no different message compared to the hundreds of other really cool divine versions of reality that are being expressed now. And what's nice is that they're coming in as the timelines line up. This level that's happening at this continuum is now lining up, and it can drop into this one, and you're like, oh my god, where'd that come from? That wasn't here before. It's really interesting to be a part of this in a body, in a single point perception. And so that's why it's good to see things as God sees it, because then, well, there's a whole other thing that Kartron can explain, which is the value and the power of being able to see it with that lens,
And being able to see all the fractals. For example, last night, everyone who might be just joining, I want to show those who are just joining this beautiful incarnation of God on earth today. Swamji Viswa Yogi, God on earth today. Well, you yourself are God on earth today, but I'm speaking about making the point of this man is divinely illumined. Sometime back, Patrick, my sister friend, Anjana, who is Swamji's caregiver when he's in town. He's always on tour. He does not sleep. He does not eat.
Oh, God.
No, he does not eat. He is the light. And so, I mean, if he eats, it's for social reasons, or he might eat a few pieces of wheatgrass, but he doesn't eat and he doesn't sleep. But one night she asked him, she said, Swamji, what do you see? He says, well, for me, if you can imagine those sci-fi movies about the future, that the technology is so good on these spaceships, they're looking at a computer screen and it's made of glass and they just turn the pages like this. He described it just as that. He says, wherever it is that he sits, he has everything, literally everything at his disposal. He calls something up, he wants to see Keith Blanchard. Keith Blanchard pops up as a Facebook profile, and he starts turning pages, and he can find out whatever he needs to find out. So it's about being able, like Swamji, to see all these different expressions of the one creative self. Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of like, imagine you open your closet door and he goes, peekaboo, and there's that face looking at you. You're like, whoa, okay, didn't expect that coming. And one of the things that Kartron scanned, because as he did this, is like there's this holomatrix, and this is a cause and effect thing before they bring it into a world. And so what they'll do is they'll put an ingredient, an effect, or an actuator, or whatever, and they'll say, okay, let's do this event and see what happens, and they play it out before it starts being actualized in the material world. So it's kind of like that. There's all these potentialities, and if you put geometries together, each angle that you look at that thing is another version of the universe. So it's the microcosm, macrocosm thing. So it sounds like he's jacked in and he doesn't need to go anywhere else.
Would it be fair to say that each geometric shape is a universe unto itself? Isn't that what you just said?
Because, yes, and
yes.
If you spin that geometry,
and if you spin it,
now you have all these other levels of reality of these intersecting, realities, I guess they'd be called, but these are versions of expression that this matrix can offer. That's what's getting ready to happen, and a lot of the thirders are going to be going, medication, please. And so all you healers, get ready to get your packages ready for the thirders. They're going to wake up, and it's like, do it for a kindergartner, and that way you'll get a
What do
whole
you
new
mean by
clientele.
thirders? What is the third? I'm sure it's a cliche word, but what do you mean by thirders?
The people who perceive life only from the third dimension, the
Oh,
five
thirders.
senses, and and so it's like if someone diagnoses you, if a doctor diagnoses you, oh, you got this disorder or something, well, maybe that doctor has PDD, something we came up with called perception deficit disorder. Because they can't perceive all the levels, then they're not qualified to see that unseen and the realm, and it's the timeless journey of being able to have your square and your circle the same, called the squared circle, and that's the geometer's enigma. Those who study sacred geometry, if you got this circle of your universe in the same proportion, either outside, inside of the same parameter or mass as your square, which is the material, the seen, then you have balance. So that's what's getting ready to happen. The unseen is about ready to happen. And you probably already well know that the veils are getting pretty thin. So things are getting a little wonky out there, as well as bringing up all the happy stuff that's been submerged for millennium. So we got a real circus going on here.
I totally back that up 100%. I've always said not only just what's that word I'm looking for? Pseudo spirituality. I don't just easily toss around 5D and ascension. I don't do that. It's getting perverted and bastardized, and it's losing everything that it was ever intended to mean.
Yes, when Kartrons first came in about July 5th, 1994, in the backside of the Grand Wailea on Eel Valley, because we were doing some very
You remember it like it's right what is right now, but you're remembering it like it's right
yeah,
now.
he, as a whatever it is, rolled up his sleeves, says, okay, let's do it. And he could have just left at any moment, but there was too many things that he had to do maintenance on. One of those was the timelines of prophecy and stuff. And so it's this thing where he started going, wait a second, there is no reference in the 90s for these beings. We're going to have something to work with. So let's create some basic knowledges so that people can steal them and market them for free for us, and they'll make their lives. But we need quantum knowledge, the sciences, the still point and stuff like that. Oh my God, there's nothing to work with. We got to start creating these points that'll become the foundation. So talk about like the chicken soup series of quantum reality. It's like, but there had to be a knowledge of what quantumness is, the fifth dimensionalness, in order to actually create these structures that are being created now. And that was the seeds that were being brought in and created so that they could be perceived enough so that they could be taken. It's like an open source thing that we're not looking and they're taking it. And then they can create this foundation around the world that we could not have in a body on Maui back then.
What I was going to say a little bit ago, it fleeted me, so I'm glad you chimed in, was about the veil thinning. It's not necessary in a cliche way. Oh my God, y'all, the veil is thinning. No, no, no. The veil is seriously thinning. And so you're going to begin to have all these way out, or rather way in, mystical experiences. Now, I want people to understand that when you start shifting in these different paradigms, these different realities, these different dimensions, because you don't have a choice in the matter. You are going to shift. Shift for the better or shift for the worse, you are going to shift. But even if you're one who is on your game, or at least ready to be in the game, understand that if your mind does not have a picture to grab hold, to paint an idea of the energy you're about to move through, it can become very frightening, because automatically you may go into a oh my God, what is happening to me mode, and the mind says, well, I do understand what that is. Let me go grab a demon picture from the file and show you what you're going through, what you look like right now. This is what you look like, when in truth what could be happening is, yes, it's unfamiliar to you, and it may cause you to, okay, let me compose myself. But instead of going into fear mongering mode, you can go into, I'm ready for this ride, and the mind will find the nearest likeness, and it'll paint this beautiful experience. And guess what? After you with that for a while, you realize the mind only gave you the idea of it, because once you start to move and transcend the imagery of the tonality of your experience, then you move beyond the pictures. Then you move into the sea of information. So the mind is always a tool, but it can make you a slave if you're not aware.
Oh, that's true. If it's like you only need a bad guy for as long as that's not required anymore, right? So then you realize that that which would be demonized is actually is a very important function in the hollow matrix. To see things as their function of their higher level. Once you get to that level, then you are being lifted out through your own perception. The evolution or the changes of that, the expansion of that interverse or whatever, to then be able to really see the hologram for what it is on greater and greater levels. And that is one of the aspects that can facilitate a person's non-craziness when the mind starts losing it because it has no more references. And so it's a very interesting thing to get to this level. And in the 90s, I was seeing that, wait a second, I'm about 5 years ahead of my time. So we need to get ready now because it's quiet and I don't have wealth in the way, because wealth, affluence and property and finances can be very distracting, if you're working on the different dimensional levels. So until you get to a level of balance, and then you can integrate it into that, whatever you're supposed to be here for stuff. So my mind being very strong, I had to assist it in comprehending how the universe works, because the mind with its intellect is designed to is engineered for this world of the third or the dimensional realm, but the other realms it's just not made for. So we had to come up with a way to have a working relationship with the other dimensional aspects.
When you were integrating Kartron, did any part of you foresee, I'm a guess, no, or maybe on the onset you had something was about to change, but when it started to go down or go in, did you find yourself going, okay, what is this? Or did you ease right into it, or did you jump into it with full force?
You're talking about the Kartron, the other beings I did, or the one that did a major...
having your experience at Bell Rock when this started to go down, were you like, please take me? Or did you have some resistance, honestly?
No, I used a 45-pound selenite crystal on a very strong vortex during the harmonic purge. It was a very powerful time, and I don't recommend anybody do that, even though you might be a thrill seeker, because the experience that happened was unexpected, and I was sleeping there, and there was like thousands of people running around looking for spaceships or whatever, because Jose Arguelles said, hey, it's going to happen at this time, right? And so, but the ascension to the Mayans is basically gaining knowledge. It's like, oh, by the way, it might have been blown out, but look at what it did, right? So my little transfer program was something that was really so intimidating. I made myself go to sleep, because I felt this energy. It woke me up. I laid on my back with my head on that crystal, and then it felt like the inside of the face, the skull of the face, was being pulled from the head. And so then
Lovely.
the next vision was on this table. There was 5 or 7 hooded beings, and then so when it felt like this thing was being pulled off, which is no fun, I'm like, I said time to go to sleep, just pass out. But then being consciously aware of this working on, and then the next day, a lady who channeled Mother Mary said, oh, by the way, she told me who I was. So it was a few hours, because everybody said, man, you're not in your body. And at that level, when you're waking up, you say, well, if I'm not in my body, where in the heck am I? Because I thought that was the only place you could be. And so that's what happened. And then she told me who I was. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. But it still didn't integrate. And when a soul comes in to do a change out, there's a lot of things to be taking into consideration. One of those is, do you keep the memories and the family and the karma and the other stuff? So in this case, there was a full memory set of the past up to age 25, and then it was also integrating the spiritual purpose, which began a real interesting whirlwind tour, which someday I might have to turn into a fiction, because nobody's going to believe it.
Often, Patrick, when people read this work, my bestseller, it's sort of like Conversations with God, but I did not steal Neil Donald Walsh's work. My book was almost halfway done when Neil Donald came out with his work. So anyway, They often, I had this old lady tell me, she says, either you actually had a transmission with God or you have a great imagination. I said, what's the difference? What's the difference?
Absolutely. I mean, especially if you got primed with intoxicants in the 60s like good people were supposed to, you know?
Patrick, we are right in the middle of the show. We're going to go into commercial break. Commercial break? No, music break. An interlude. An interlude. You don't want to do no lude, speaking of. We're going to enter to a greater space. We're going to use some music to do that. Music is the true universal language. Don't die with your music in you. Don't die with your music in you. Do not die with your music in you. Your life is a beautiful song, hence universe. Unit, one, verse, song. One song. Don't die with your music in you. Come alive. Be full of fire. Divine fire, so that you can acquire and aspire to something ever higher than you've ever known. You may say, well, how do I do that? Good question. It's not an important question. What is important is that you will it forth. I will do this. I choose this. And when that choosing becomes the all of you, then beyond what you know as you is now on fertile ground to simply blossom. And truly all you have is a choice.
Remember that all things are possible. You must choose to be accountable, responsible, enough to believe, and open your heart.
Really?
To receive.
Cool. This would be a good time not to swim.
Above and look at your life, and you see the life you live, and you'll be surprised that it all turned out this way and not the way you planned. It's about what you know and what you understand. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Learn to follow that inner voice inside. That's the one that's telling you not to run and hide. See what your life could be when you visualize. It's about what you choose that you realize. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Now it's time for you to plan out your life. Seeing what you do by your own design. It's all up to you to make it what you can. It's of your own free will. What don't you understand? Choice, life's a choice. It's a choice. Your life is a choice.
Planes are so quiet.
Life's a choice.
Welcome back to Center of Light Radio. The music you just heard was by Lavender Soul. Lavender Soul. My spiritual group. We are writing a new album now. This band is comprised of members of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. These people can play. Coincidentally, or synchronistically, or on purpose rather, it looks like this. My bestseller, The Divine Principle Anchoring Heaven on Earth. You want information about how to receive this book and soundtrack? Keith, I'm interested. It doesn't cost you much. It costs you. And what you are investing is you. You are investing. You're in the vest of your life. For the rest of your life. Or are you? Welcome back to Center of Light Radio. My brand new friend, Patrick McCormick. Thank you for being here. Patrick, I would like to, my friend, my brother, my cosmic brother, you and I have played on many realities multiple times, and we're just coming into a state of remembrance of that. What I would like to do, since Patrick earlier, Kartron, wanting to coming in, I would like to move, as if you will, more into Kartron. But because I'm a radio show host guy, if you say something delicious and it has mayonnaise on it, I might want more mayonnaise on my sandwich. I might interrupt you because I would be curious to ask certain questions that I think that if I brought something out that you said that was really powerful, so you can extrapolate on that. Would that be okay, sir?
Absolutely. You can use it and proliferate and, use it for your wanton purpose and all that stuff. That's why it comes through.
So let me ask you this. For me, and in fact, I want to see your way, if that's okay with you. But for me, I'm Keith. Here's Keith on the TV, and I'm doing all these things, and I'm talking, right? And so I'm already in the spirit like you, because it's our new default. We've done the work. Many people have done the work. So we've done the work. So we're already in that place as to why you are so passionate. The words just flow through you effortlessly. It's not the words. It's the energy that takes the form of a word. And same with me. But for me, Patrick, when I go inside, I just have to close my eyes and simply intend, and I'm there. How is it for you? Do you feel this swapping of body energies? Or is it just so... how does that feel to you when you're going through the Patrick to Kartron?
Well, if you're talking about that, it's a transfer, and I basically, I used to have to take a breath, and on the exhale, kind of leaving the car while it's moving, right? And there's no oxygen in the lungs, then I would go out back to the left and never even be able to perceive it, because once I'm leaving the body, it's like, oh, I don't know. But then Kartron would come through, or the being that I was bringing through at that time, and they would kind of take in. It's kind of like this stunt thing. But now it's just, I can just get to the point where I can just become unavailable and he becomes available, because it's streamlined. And it's kind of like part of the professional schizophrenic training, where you can then, like, for instance, to get some of this information, I will be bringing in like the newsletters of the information. Okay, what's happening now? And this is what's happening, and this is what's going to happen, and all that. Then I'll transmit this. Then there's a compartmentalization where you can then, for instance, I could be in a very loud place and still tap into that level of information, because that's a completely separate aspect. So there's a way to separate yourself so that one does not dilute or diffuse over to the other, which is very good for sensitives. Maybe we'll turn it into a program someday so that people are just not blown open, and whatever comes in. You can have selective sensitivity, as this goes on, because it's getting more chaotic and weird out there, or whatever. And so you want to be able to choose what you want to be sensitive to. And you know what we're talking about, because I just saw the little green light of your psyche turn on.
When you channel others other than Kartron, does the dialect or any inflection, I'm sure the inflection may change because of the character, but does the accent change, or does it still sound like Patrick on spiritual steroids.
No, absolutely. Like when I do John Lennon, oh my God, people just feel his energy, and he's one hell of a driver in a car in this body. If I ever need to get through traffic, he can come through. It's like because he's like, if you don't get out of my way, I will take you out. Then I'll deal with you. It's like they can feel that. And he's like, and I don't really bring through other beings because Kartron's a one size fits all. I mean, I can like the Metatrons come through. I was asked by it to come through, and it's not some angel with a lot of wings and eyes. This is the omniversal fabric of creation that solar systems and worlds are built on. So it was that energy that needed to come in 2015. But I'm very reluctant. Like King Solomon, he's coming in certain levels of information. I'm going, wait a second, that's not my signature. But this is really cool. It's like the modern day street smart King Solomon type vibe showing up. And so when I do Kartron, it's kind of like I'll just go and he can come in and do the Kartron thing. So do you want that to happen?
I would like that. I was multitasking. I was going to drop your contact to all of our viewers / listeners in the room.
Okay. Well, then while you're doing that, I'll just sit
go
down.
ahead.
And have
Yeah,
Kartron
get down, brother. There we go. All right, everyone. This is how you contact Patrick / Kartron. It's his Facebook page. I'm sure he would love to hear from you. He's a very approachable guy, just like me. What else is there? You know, speaking for me, I am not this distant individual. I love people. People are my life. And when I can, I will always forever chime in with you. So Kartron, if you're still there, by the way, I want to divulge this publicly.
Yes, we see you, Keith. There you are.
And the bike, I just happen to lean forward at the same time. Because I'm a musician and I love quality, I want to acknowledge the quality of your Bluetooth microphone. It is great. It's clear. It's robust. It's not thin. Wow. And being a singer...
It's a very nice device, and it does cancel out. Now, you can't have real good other sounds, but it sure does cancel out really well. So this is a high definition. So you don't take that microwave device and cook your brain in a square part of it with that phone. How are you doing today?
I am fantabulous, just like you.
Are we okay? You guys okay if we scan you? Because, you know, fast fair, you can check us out. We can check you out. And so then we will be scanning you guys to find out the best way to express what we are doing. And in this way, we will basically be channeling the living. We'll get you guys your message that you're supposed to get.
I am very okay with that. You can scan away with me. In fact, I would think most people in here would be okay with that because the people that follow you have already been scanned, and knowing my group, they are open. So yes.
Now, one of the things for you guys to know, right? If you engage this, then you might start liking it more and more. So if you're going to be really getting into something, it might as well be the divine, because we are designing sciences using the mechanics of heaven and the quantum energies and the gamma fields and all that. And these devices are there to assist humanity in getting to the place where they are supposed to be at that point of prophecy that humanity has now achieved in the last few years. So this is about going for that gold, really, of that spectrum to where you can get to the place as beings of light. Is basically you're getting all your gifts back, your God self, your awareness, your ascended master stuff. And you guys are saying, it's okay. I'm okay to be way beyond my human form and to bring it in to a world that needs it the most. And so that's what we're doing, and we're letting you know. So if you guys don't want to do this, you can put up something and we will probably listen to it. But you're so tasty when we have fresh meat.
I love it. I love the energy, the humor.
And Patrick's body keeps looking over there because something big has splashed over there, and it's dark, and he's glad it's salt water, so it's probably not an alligator. And it's like, okay, that's a very big splash that we got going on over there, universe. Maybe they're showing up for the show, but there are manatees and stuff. So
well,
that's
you
why
and I,
looking.
Kartron, Patrick, and I have something in common. You from Florida, and there's alligators. I'm from South Louisiana, and there are alligators. Alligators will show up in your yard. So I'm okay with it, but I wish we met under different circumstances that we have alligators in common.
Well, actually, if suddenly there's a really fast movement, we'll take you with us and we'll go on a whole new level of Facebook or whatever. And you'll be like, yay, all right, look at the channel running from the nice lizard. And so are you guys, let's see, as we look at this and we see this and we scan all of your stuff, all of your covenants, your completions, the evolutionary rate of them, where are you at in the completion or the fulfillment or the process of this? Time being a measure of experience for us, it meters out, it sets the rate at which an evolution or an experiential expression occurs. Then we're actually scanning all that for you guys, including the stuff that you have fulfilled, because Keith, you may have noticed there's a lot of residue, and that's why there's a lot of people doing cleaning and clearing. Healing is one part, but after a while, healing will not be required, and it's to maintain the balance of frequency. So what we are seeing now is that it's time for people to really open up to those levels, because you guys have done your homework. We don't have to kick the can in the sandbox anymore. It's time to really start opening up to that level. So seeing your life as would God, quote unquote, see it, is a way to discharge yourself from the perception which has bound you in this hologram of like the laws of physics and stuff. Because you as universal beings are totally now opening up and becoming the universe itself. Isn't that super cool? And you're breathing. Whoa, you get the award, front row seat.
So if Kartron could share what Patrick's answer would be, how would Patrick say it feels to be Patrick when Kartron enters? Second question. What is the relationship between Kartron and Metatron?
Well, the Metatron is the omniversal fabric that the reality is built on. They need a canvas. And so to build a world or a star system or a solar system or whatever, this is the fabric that they can then use as the reference to create that. So that's more like the Metatronic aspect. When it comes through, and it's not some big guy with wings who looks really studly with a 38 pack. This is something that is here as part of it. That's why the Metatron, Tron is beyond the throne. And so it is that which is the fabric that this reference is built on. And so when it comes through, it is more like the upper spectrum. We're like the go-to maintenance, the janitorial staff here in the working class God level like you are. And so here we are just dealing with it. And Patrick is like, okay, God, what the hell am I doing in Atlantis? I did Lemuria and it was a lot softer. Now I'm over here, but it's starting to be made known. So Patrick relation to Kartron is that he did bring through a being, not really a being, it was a being of essence. And it was Ra, the central sun, not the Egyptian one. And when he brought it in, it's a pillar of fire essence, and it burned everything out. And so after 2 hours, he came back, and it was so powerful that everything burned, and he was saying, well, if I internally combust now, I get out early, and it didn't work. So it took 2 hours to cool down. After that, he was like a big tube. You could just bring through anything through that, and he didn't get in the way, because one of the things that Patrick made sure was there was no dilution of the message or the frequency or the experience, because then it's just, well, it's not really a bastardization, but it is a compromise, because the divine is here. Everybody's wanting this, right? They want the good stuff. And Keith, you're saying, guys, here's the inner mirror of the cosmos. So the relationship between the Patrick, the Kartron, and the Metatron is like everything that you guys are. You are the universe within which we take you through into your soul. So then you are basically the aspect of creation itself, and you don't have to travel all the way across some galaxies to get to the place that's already there. You have an advantage also.
Hello.
You have a body.
Wow, wow, wow.
You get it? So it's not like you need, well, you can rack up a lot of galactic frequent flyer miles and do, travel and stuff like that, but you don't have to. It's all right here. And so what we do is we used to do the still point, the God gate, and the pillar of transformation in the 90s. We came up with that because God knows there was no reference enough to get people to the quantum levels. And now we have the soul point, where we take you to your soul, and we got it down to 3 breaths because everything needs to be able to be put into a practical level for it to become real for you guys in bodies, because we are here for this, right? You guys are our liaisons, you're our apostiles, you're our emissaries of light. And a lot of you may have felt like there wasn't the universe with your back, as you had to let your dreams go. And you had to take up day jobs and get into relationships that may not have vibed right and didn't last or whatever, and you became these vessels of offering. Well, all of this was because you were pioneering this matrix that will allow this paradigm to be able to come in, because before it was too much of a difference and it would just kind of go crash, boom, clean up on Planet 5 during an ascension. The other times when the civilizations fell, Keith, it didn't turn out so well because the deities were intervening, thinking their view was going to work. So it's like, stand down, everybody. Now we're going to let the humans do it. So we came in because there was a lot of manipulation of the Homo sapien soul group. And these are the laggards from all over who the earth said, okay, come here. And she's got sacrificed a few times. But now humanity is ready to inherit that which the Lightworker has held for them. And it's time for everyone to be responsible and accountable for their own actions. And that's why all the crap's coming up, because it's coming to a boil. And now you get to take that stuff, address it, clean it, clear it, and everything gets to be redeemed now. Does that make sense?
Beyond sense. In fact, it makes so much sense. I have a few dollars in my pocket. Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard here. Yanava. What is Yanava? I'm hanging out with my friend Kartron, Patrick. Yanava. Ya. 3 primordial sacred seed syllables of who you are at your essence. Ya. Heart. God. Will. Ya. Heart. Ya. Na. Mind. Discernment. The mind when it's balanced. Not ooh, ooh, ah, ah, hoo, 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 the monkey. Not that. Intelligence, grounding, clarity. Na. Ya, heart, God, will. Na. Mind, clarity. Va is the backbone, the ability to carry out action. When you put these 3 together, they're already together, but when you consciously choose to align, to become congruent with that, such as Kartron, such as Yanava, such as Jesus, Sananda, Paramahansa, Yogananda, Buddha, Krishna. God's name in many forms always surrounds ah. When someone tells you a joke and you go, ah, I get it. Well, you get it because that's called enlightenment. It's not hard. If you're trying hard, you are overshooting the target. In fact, it's not a trying at all. Yes, yes.
Is there any particular subject you'd like to explore? Or we could give you a quick galactic weather report about the ancient civilizations of what's going to happen next year, which is happening now.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to go to song break. And when we come back, let's get exactly right into that. How's that?
That's cool, dude. We'll see you soon.
I love it. Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard here. We're going to be right back with Kartron and Patrick. Shortly tonight, we're speaking about life. Seeing life as God. Not only seeing life as God would, but are you seeing your life unfoldment as the unfoldment of your own divinity? Speaking of divinity, we all need a divine lover, lavender soul. Divine lover. Wow.
I will be with you always. Until the end of time. You will never be alone.
I feel you there beside me. I've seen places far away. Wondering just when, time and again, I have come to know you. Wondering just when, time and again, you are there beside me. When I create, when I feel love, whenever I feel you with me, I celebrate times of my life. There is only you and me. Help me know that.
It is my will that you know me. I will not hide my love from you. You create your reality, and every moment by your own perceptions, your judgments, actions. Peace is a state of mind. Bliss is a state of heart. Heaven is a state of being.
Deep in my heart, I know you're there. I can always feel you guiding my life to see the light that will lead me to the truth. When I create, when I feel love, whenever I feel you with me, I celebrate times of my life. There is only you and me. For you are my mother,
My soul.
my divine lover. I celebrate times of my life. There is only you and me. Help me live.
Welcome back to the Center of Light, all my Yanavites on this beautiful night. Wow! Are you living in the gate of yourself? Do you have a gate, a stride towards something powerful and beautiful? It may seem like a future occurrence, but has it ever occurred to you that when you go inward, you move upward and you move forward toward something powerful? Rachel Woolham's in the house and she says, Keith, I'm still in pain. Rachel, I will address you again lovingly, powerfully, firmly, but lovingly. Contact me any daytime of the week. Keith, can you talk with me? My answer is absolutely. I would love nothing more. But what it requires from you, Rachel, I'm not calling you out. I'm having you become visible so everyone can support you. I understand you're in pain, physical pain. I don't want that any more from you, for you than you do. You have to let go of the idea that you're in pain. Well, Keith, you don't understand. I'm not the one in pain. You are. And what I want to share with you is something that you can gain simply by shifting, at least for now, until you and I talk, that you're not in pain. You're having an experience of powerful, intense energy. It changes the game for you. It does. It does. It's a start. But you and I will talk soon. I am not ignoring. You just have to contact me. It's up to you, really. Okay. Welcome back to Center of Light Radio. Patrick McCormick / Kartron Cosmic Being. cosmic seeing and cosmic freeing. How are you, sir? Energy.
We are fine. It's important to give disclosure on what we just did. We checked with a number of you guys, and it was okay. Patrick is being given access to certain things on this part of this shores of the sandbar of Atlantis, called Florida, and so we used some of that as an experiment, and we checked with you guys. So if you guys felt a little bit of healing in this last break, we did a test to use that power of Atlantis to create this balance for those of you who had fulfilled that pain type or whatever, that healing regimen, agreement, covenant, then you were eligible to have more healing occur. There's so much discord and discomfort and things like that, Keith, and it is becoming people's story nowadays. If it isn't a physical malady, it's a psychological one, or a social one, or an emotional one. And all of this stuff is not hell coming right in, it's coming up to be cleared. And so there's a few ways that you can get to the place where you can start embodying healing right now, not even therapy, but just start bringing that in. And so we said also the galactic weather report of the ancient civilizations, we did a test with that Atlantean energy. So some of you may have felt a bit of balancing, healing and stuff, because you don't need that as a teacher as long as you get the wisdom of that. So Rachel, what is this dis-ease and the pain showing you? If you can get to that level, then it doesn't need to be expressed in the same way. You can create a different relationship with that thing, whatever it is, being, energy, whatever, that then is you having to use that pain to get you to another place, or evolution, or really get something. So if you get what that is, Rachel and everybody, then pain is an option, not a requirement.
That is so fantastic. Thank you for expressing that in such a beautiful, delicious, clear way to this beautiful, delicious, sexy human being we call Rachel. She needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. So, Rachel, what is being offered to you is when you get out of the idea of that I'm suffering. Suffering is always self-induced. You stub your toe on a piece of furniture, that's called pain. But when you can transcend that as well, you just see it as beautiful experience. And Kartron imparted to you a way of seeing this in such a way that you can truly detour, divert, bypass this longevity of this ongoing riddle. For example, if I was to tell you a joke or a riddle and you don't get it, I have to keep repeating it until you get your aha. Once you get your aha, there's no longer a point of me repeating it. Same thing Kartron is imparting here. Basically, your path to feeling good on all levels doesn't necessarily require you to be in pain. This is truly on some level of choice.
You know what's interesting, Keith, is that so many people are told that's the story they're supposed to use. And some people actually like that identity. It's like, well, I'm sick, so I could use it for whatever. And so, Rachel, if you'd like, we could do a little bit of an experiment on healing, and we can use you as the point to work on everybody, because everybody has a certain level of imbalance and discomfort and stuff, some much more than others. So,
Kartron, you have my permission, provided we have Rachel's permission, and I think it's an absolute beautiful idea, because if Rachel is so vulnerable enough to divulge such information about her sensitivity, her life, and sacredness about her life, and if she declares it, then I would love to learn a lesson in my own healing using Rachel as the tool.
Okay, so to order to understand dis-ease, that which is not in balance, and it got to this point where it had to precipitate into a physical expression, to the point where it said, oh, do we have your attention now, right? Then you became in such a level of discord and distortion that became this world's version of you. But this is not the only world that's available. And so this becomes your story.
Wow.
And you're like, oh God, I'm in pain, whatever. our friend Rebecca, she brought in the angels on this one lady. Oh, she was so ready to die. Stage 4, got to have chemo. I got to clean up all my affairs. She worked on it for 2.5 hours. And then she called and she says, oh my God, I'm doing so much better because she let go of that story. Are you guys ready to let go of this earth story of who you are in your limitation, your physicality, of things that are wrong? Because this is where it is, you've wound up in this, you've kind of like in this eddy of polarity. So now there's a way that we created several years ago that we could use as a collective experiment, Keith, if that's okay. And
Sure,
it'll be
and
part of this thing.
I want to, absolutely, by all means, but I want to interject this real quick. I want to echo what you just said. Wayne Dyer, my God, what I loved that man, still love that man, that soul, that energy, said that. Oh my God, we were talking about. It just like you said, they come in, they fleet, and they come in.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. When we understand, one, who walks beside us at all times, we will never be afraid again. But when we have a disease, a dis-ease, we have to understand that there's a part of ourselves that is just not congruent and balanced. And so it really requires nothing from you other than just simply being at ease.
Yes. In fact, we worked on a woman who had advanced levels of cancer, and we actually then said, okay, because when people get a session from us, it's kind of like the dog that's chasing the car, and the car stops and it says, okay, can you see us now? It's like, whoa, okay, I've invoked you in. And so we had her talk to the energy of the cancer. And when we had the dialogue and she became the channel for that thing, we asked it. You gotta be able to ask these certain questions, like especially when you do like the dialoguing with darkness. If you got some real big density, and we have this process, if there's beings or other things that are really messing with people, is that then we said, okay, why are you doing this? So they can hear me, so she can hear me. And we said, well, who is causing you to do this? And that being that was giving the cancer said, well, she is. So the being with the disease was asking that being to give the disease so that she could get the message. Well, like, hello, let's do the math on this one. Then if we come up with a different way to get that message across, then that disease wouldn't be necessary, right? That's right. Okay, so now, we don't know what happened, but because she went on, she probably is doing cool. And so now you have a different relationship with that energy that's giving you that disease to give you the imbalance. So Rachel, what are you not quite ready to let go of? Because we are seeing that there's a little bit of holding on, and the pain and suffering comes from not being able to let go in the way that the universe is flowing towards you. So if you can, just be okay and trust and just let it all go, you will go up to the level of buoyancy that your vibration naturally is, like the Abraham group would say. So it's like you then go to your natural state. You're not held down by the density of that pain and suffering and the story that this system says you're going to be sick and you're going to die. And oh, please get a life. Otherwise, we'll give you the 6 degrees of bitch slap. And it's like, come on. Because there's 6 degrees, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's like, come on, stop it with the illusion already. How many of you guys still need an enemy? Oh, no.
Kartron. What I was going to say that fleeted me about Wayne Dyer. He said that when we go into victim mode, I understand. My life is tough, and I want to express it because I'm full of busted. I'm full, and I just got to get some of this out. We get that. But when you spin yourself into a dialogue and you post that, and everyone says, oh, I'm so sorry. What's happening on a level one may not understand is you are being reinforced by the oh, pitiful me. The oh, pitiful me. And so it comes down to simply understanding that that is not what you are. It's just simply a beautiful experience that's unfolding for you. That's it. It doesn't mean anything else. And you have to be careful how you divulge this such information to hundreds or potentially thousands of people. Because the last thing you want is when you, if lightning strikes in your life and something happens to you and you post it on Facebook and you get the masses behind you, that's the last thing you want. It is.
And then you've got all the momentum of that collective fulcrum going boom, boom, boom. It's like, one of the things that we made sure that wasn't going to happen to Patrick was the guru thing. Because if someone is so giving their power to that level of being, instead of being it within themselves, then they, in transferring that power, that being is now responsible because they've gotten that thing. And so it's like giving that power outside. If that person transitions, they can get stuck between dimensions and they have to transmute all of those beings that gave them that responsibility. And so one of the things we want to make sure is that everybody realize the power that they have as God, as the being, as the ascended master, as the working class God. And so one of the things that people can realize is that, well, if you don't like your story, then all you got to do is change it.
Kartron, I want to interrupt. This is integral, vital, important for the beautiful spirit that we are speaking about, Rachel. Again, back to Wayne Dyer. There was a lady who's married to a gentleman, maybe it was a man, for however many years, and she had cancer. Okay, so what is cancer? Cancer is that which eats away at the body's self. Well, for many years, she was married to a man who got her so mad that her thoughts, her process, ate at herself. So it manifested as cancer. On her deathbed, her last trip to the hospital, she's in the hallway in the gurney, and they're about to start introducing morphine. She, in her life review, said, I was with him for 25 years because I loved him. Fuck it. He might be an asshole, but I'm done with it. She forgave all of it because she realized she simply wanted to be with him because she loved him. She got off the gurney and went home and was healed. But what I want to ask Kartron, or share with Kartron, is, Rachel, trust me. If you trust me, I'm sharing this out of love for you. And to give you what you are asking. Kartron, she says, after you and I spoke and have offered some love nuggets, she says, it's in my bones, basically. You guys don't understand. I didn't know I had this until I had a scan. It's in my neck, you guys. So, Rachel, what I am trying to offer you, and I want to give Kartron the opportunity, but what I want to offer to you is that counterpoint, honestly, because I care about you beyond measure, is telling me you want to defend the illusion versus going to a space, Kartron, Patrick, myself, many other people of the like, that says simply, okay, we understand that's where you are, but we want to take you to where we are. Not because we are better, it's because we are happy. We are blissful people. And if you want to join us in this place, you have to erase all that stuff that is keeping you quagged in mire, which is, but you don't understand, I'm in this pain. Kartron,
there's a shortcut that we created. And it was something that said, well, what is the thing that's not in balance using? Well, it's using an imbalanced template. And so we're saying, okay, well, if that template isn't the one that's going to actually do a correction, then let's use a different template. And let's use the one that isn't imbalanced. And that way we've actually came up with a way to create a light body, an aspect of the self that we can bring in that is perfected. And that is what the flesh can go towards. But it means that someone has to say yes. So the pain and suffering. Now, there was another few instances where this girl had leukemia in Hawaii, and there was these beings that were feeding on her life force, and that's different. That's an external thing. And the unpleasantries of that, we got that out and she healed. So there's other reasons for it, Rachel. And we're not singling you out, but how about if we just put it this way? Are you wanting that, or if you're wanting to let it go? And with everybody that we talk about individually, it applies to everyone. So, Rachel, you are our go-to gal on this. And so, guys, whoever wants right now, we can do a very quick thing. Well, we can do the 3 breaths of soul, go get your higher self energy body and bring that in. And that way, you will have a template of your perfected self in the new earth.
Kartron, if you would, we're about to go. We're at the bottom of the show, so let's take a quick break and come back, and you can close off with that beautiful idea. And Rachel, again, I want to reiterate, my friend Patrick Kartron, that you are. I always say it's a blessing to be a blessing. And tonight, you are the blessing that is being the blessing to everyone else because of your courage, your bravery, to become vulnerable, to say, "Hey, everyone, I'm going to make a public announcement. I'm in pain, and your pain needs to be addressed. You deserve to be addressed and dressed with a cloak of divine light. And if that really simply means something that is a buffer to my situation." If that's what you're asking for, I pray, I hope I'm on your side that we take it to another level. We're going to be right back. We're going to close out the show. But also, at 9:30 tonight, I'm going to do a presentation about my time with Swamji last night. I'm going to repeat the video, but Yanava is going to interject. I'm going to interject. We're going to go enter, and we're going to reject everything that is absolute bullshit. How do I know I can do that? I have faith. Mr. Peter Coyle, dear friend of mine from Ireland, what a beautiful song. He could recorded this song in a professional recording studio, but he didn't, and I'm glad, because they captured it in such a very simple way. It's very organic, and it's powerful. Be right back.
Love is here. It's here to stay. It's here for everyone around the world each and every day. Love is true, love is pure, and if you find yourself in love, my friend, you'll feel the love for sure. Love is you, love is me, love is everything about your life that makes you want to be. Yeah, love is here, it's here to stay. Yes, love is love. Love is waking with a smile each day when things ain't going right. Love is being there for the ones you love through darkness into light. Love is seeing the world around you for the great place that it is. Love is being there for each other when there's problems with the kids. Love is here, it's here to stay. It's here for everyone around the world each and every day. Love is true, love is pure, and if you find yourself in love, my friend, you'll feel the love much more. Love is you, love is me, love is everything about our lives that makes us want to be. Yeah, love is here, it's here to stay. Yes, love is love. Yeah, love is here, it's here to stay. Yes, love is love.
Welcome back to Center of Light Radio. Yo, 9:30 tonight, I'm going to be doing a presentation about my time with God Realized Man on Earth last night with a group of 10 or 12, give or take, with Swamji Viswayogi. Sri 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 Bhagavan Viswayogi Viswamji Maharaj. A bunch of titles. The Divine. The Divine. I'm going to revisit my time last night with the video, but I'm going to interject Yanava, same as Kartron, kind of idea. It's going to be present. It's a beautiful experience. The question I want to ask you, are you on fire? And if you're not, simply, why not? Are you on fire? Do you have a fire burning in the belly? A fire alive in you, the phoenix rising, the passion to have whatever it is you want. If you want this or that, or a thing, or a feeling, or experience, are you in with that program? Are you in with that program? Are you full of yourself? There's a difference, but not really, between selfish. Everyone is selfish. Even spiritual people are selfish. Selfish means I'm so full of myself, I'm going to get what I want. So it becomes self-full. You're self-full. I'm full of myself. I'm self-full. You cannot reach the divine any other way other than loving yourself. You can never touch the reality of God if you don't love yourself. That's it. There's only one path. And the path is you. Welcome back to Center of Light Radio. My cosmic energy brother, Patrick Kartron. Where did we leave off, my friend?
And so basically, that if you guys want, and if we do not get to the full story of see life as God, then it can be picked up later on. So if it isn't at this level where you feel like, it's okay, because life is a continuation. And as you guys start losing your wrinkles and getting your spiritual energy and getting into that age level where you're going to stay, just realize that mortality is optional and you are going to start living that life of divinity, which you get the benefits of, which is out of the mortal realm. One of those things that the mortal realm does is the ravages upon your corporeal temple called your body. So what we're going to do, Keith, is we're going to do the 3 breaths to soul right now. And that will get you to the space that we can then take you to the next level. So guys, this is how you will be able to see life as God from your soul. And so it's the first breath, just everyone breathe in yourself. Now, if you use your mind, you could get complicated because we will confuse your mind on purpose. Feel, sense, use the mind of God in the heart, all right? We will mess with you if you're trying to over-intellectualize this and you don't want to rob yourself of tomorrow. As Dr. Streeter said in a recent presentation here, who has this device that reads auras and healing in real time. And so on the first breath, everybody, you're going on the count of 3, you're going to breathe in everything that you are, your life, your identity, your persona, your character, what you are as an individual, your talents and abilities, what you're known for, the good, the bad, the pain, everybody, and all that stuff. So 1, 2, 3, breathe it in and hold it. Okay, and now this is circulating. And now, when you exhale, you're going to let yourself go because that's not you anymore. So just let it go. Okay? Just release your identity. That's your characterization. You're getting a refund tonight because it's time to get recalibrated from within. All right? Now, fall back into that real peaceful place. That's the still point that we taught people up until about a year ago. Now we got the soul point. So the still point within is that quantum state of stillness that you can access the universe within. So this next breath, you're going to breathe in your greater purpose called your spirit. So 1, 2, 3, breathe in the spirit and hold it. Breathe in the stillness. Okay, and that's the greater reason why you are here, that which drives the passion of your life and every life. Exhale now and release all the great reasons why you are supposed to be here. Just let it go. And fall back into the solace. Solace is the place where you can begin to not exist. It is like the void of substance. Feel yourself expanding, unbecoming who you had to be. Doesn't that feel relaxed to where you can just let everything go? The solace discreates you, that peace within the stillness. And this time you're going to breathe in the soul from above, that which is the orchestration and the animus of every life and your universal identity. So breathe in the soul, hold it, breathe in the solace. You can imagine what it does as you hold your breath. And then exhale and let it go. Two angels are opening a curtain within you. As it pulls back this veil, it reveals the soul within, which is the fire which keeps you animated in your life. Let go of your soul, exhale, and fall back into your soul within, and let it immolate you, burn you up, go through everything. It is this which is the spark of God that became an identity, that is your soul, that incarnates that part of it. And as you look out, you can see your life way out there, because life's in a circle. It's always bustling about. That's why they call it busyness. And so it's all that realm of doing stuff. But in your soul, you've got a stillness, a beingness where you are one with the cosmos. Now, the way to travel in this quantum state is you just see yourself go there. So on the count of three, everybody, you're going to see yourself standing on this platform, this veil between life and death. And it's about 4 feet above your head, 1.3 meters. And so 1, 2, 3, see yourself up above this place. It's the heaven right above the living. And this is where your spirit guides are and everything else. So now, this is where you can commune with your divine. Some of you know how to do it. Some of you are new here. That's all perfect. Everybody is perfectly what they're supposed to be. So you can relax. You're not going to miss the mothership this time. Oh no, can't let that door hit me in the ass. Oh, I got to hurry up. It's okay. You know, the bane of immortality is boredom. You'll have plenty of time to go through every scenario. Now, everybody invoke your higher self. Ask your higher self, which is the perfect you that does not incarnate, but is that which helps to orchestrate each and every life. So just see you in your perfect self. Okay? So now we are going to take it and have it stand in front of you. So now you are facing your own divinity in the form of yourself as God, called your higher self.
But Kartron, that could be scary for a lot of people. It's beautiful and as powerful and infinite as it is. Marianne Williamson says we have a tendency to be scared of our true nature. And so what do you suggest for someone who loves the beautiful picture you're painting that says, I want to move into this, but it's scary? What are your thoughts about that?
Okay, well, the short answer is get some balls. And the longer answer is, right, get your nice shiny ones, big ones. You don't even have to have hair on it. Just get some nice because if you are going to be a light worker as the most powerful force on this planet, then you will be the dominant energy that will help bring heaven to earth. And if you're not ready, that's okay. So we're not going to have your higher self go into you. But we are going to ask the higher self now. We're going to take a version of it. This is like not a duplicate, not a copy, but an aspect of it. It'll be the same. Okay? And you can take it and now ask it to give. So we're taking a version of the higher self, not the higher self, because it might be too much, right? And just bring it into you, thus very temporarily, okay? Bring it into your soul. This is the lighter version. It's like Bud Light. You don't have to have the real stuff, okay? And feel this come in, because divinity is gentle. It doesn't have to be forced. These systems that coerce you and make you do stuff, it's like, stop it. Relax. Ascension is a natural process. It is a beautiful thing to experience your self-awakening. You don't have to force it. If you do, you can have the other effect. So relax into your own God self. Now, on the count of three, come back into your soul self in your body, bringing that higher self aspect. 1, 2, 3, boom. And just see yourself there with your higher self version. This is your perfect energy body. And now, if you're ready, guys, we're going to take out that diseased part. We're going to ask two angels to show up in your physicality, because remember, your body is way out there outside of your soul. And so now we're going to have the angels, if you are ready, are you ready to consent to take out the dis-ease and the imbalance out of your life? So angels, now on the count of 3, everybody take a deep breath from your soul and breathe out and release that pain body now. That's this world. That's the earth world's version of you, right? And so just let it go. It comes out of the body and they'll take it up. And this is the record of your journey here. It's very important. We don't lose that. And now we're going to take your higher self aspect and let's see it move into your physicality. You're still from your soul, right? Watching. And just let's push this in. Breathe another breath and breathe your perfect energy self into your flesh. And just see it fit perfectly. This is the part of you that is perfect. This is the part of you beyond time and space. It is the part that doesn't have the ravages of mortality. And now, on the count of 3, Keith, we are going to merge the higher self energy body with the physical body that you have now. 1, 2, 3. As it merges together, joins together, flesh to flesh, soul to soul, spirit to spirit, we now join it. And now the body itself, the physical, has a new template to go towards. It will be pulled towards the perfection and the healing. So let that go, everybody. See yourself in your soul. Breathe in the soul light. And on the count of 3, you are going to temper it with the breath of God, the rarefied air of heaven.
Wow.
Breathe it in. And from your soul, breathe the fire from the heart of God upon your spiritual perfection and your physical form. Do this now. And see it tempered like a forge of a fine instrument. And as this joins together, you breathe life into it. And so that's the shortcut system. You take your energy body of perfection and you have that be the thing that your physicality goes towards.
Kartron, I have always said, when we try so hard to become spiritual, you've already overshot your target. You just said the same thing. There's no effort in being, quote, spiritual. There's no effort in being the fullness of who you are. There is no effort of being the living word or the living truth. In fact, if there's any introduction of such things, you are always going to fall short. We are at the end of this time together, my cosmic energy friend, brother, Sandwich.
Thank you for the overtime.
Yeah, is there a paragraph, 2 paragraphs kind of Kartron thing you would like to leave us with? And your contact. I didn't, let me see. I think I have,
well,
I think I have.
Yeah, the email, kartron999@gmail.com or patmac.
Say that, please say that again. I sloughed off.
Okay. Kartron999@gmail or patmac33. And so, Keith, we do the broadcasts on a regular basis to where people can get a hit after you get a private session or something, or if you just want the things. We give at least, Patrick designed it to give at least half away every month, and the other half is a subscription that then pays the bills, so it's not expensive. Each event is like a session worth of energy. So if you guys want, you can ask to sign up. And we will get you that newsletter, and you guys can then get cooked all the time. And for those who've had a really spiritual good time, for those who've had a really good spiritual time, we've invented a thing called Pillarette, and it's a quantum cigarette. So if it's really good spiritually, then
pass
it's
it
time
around.
to light it up. Yeah.
Take a big hit and pass it around.
So yes, and like our friend said, Syrian Slims and Pleiadian 100s. Oh yeah. So thank you so much. Oh yes, our friend Rebecca is here. There's a big
Hi,
thing up there.
Rebecca. Thank you for what you do with Kartron.
Rebecca,
Hi.
thank you for what you do with Kartron.
Hi,
You're being
Rebecca.
thanked by Keith right now.
Oh, thank you.
They can't see you.
Will Rebecca allow her beautiful face?
Will you be a beautiful face? Show up here?
Can we see her?
Yes.
She's
And
important.
then
She's
this is
integral.
okay.
In fact,
Oh, Pete.
she's not important. She's
Yeah, put this on.
integral. Wow, how beautiful is that blonde?
Okay.
Wow. Wait. Wow, how beautiful is that blonde illumined individual? If she's servicing, to use a word, don't take it out of context, you, Patrick, Kartron, and this beautiful energy dance, I want to say thank you, dude. You being acknowledged.
Thank you.
How are you? How's life for you? Can you stand up? We
good.
can only see the top of your head.
Sure.
Can we see a
I have
little more of you?
unbrushed hair. It's so humid down here in Florida. It's been what time and nonstop since like 9 a.m. But
Well, I'm
listen,
in Memphis, so I understand the humidity factor. It is baking in and up. It's like we're in a sauna.
it's in the 90s. Yeah, it's in the 90s here still. It's really good. The energy's amazing. It's been like one of those nonstop days with sessions and whatever.
And-
But yeah, this was an awesome show. The graphics are so amazing.
You're lovely.
I'm just beside myself.
And
The commercials-
I do all this myself because I'm blessed, like we all are. But at least I recognize my blessing to sit here and I create all day, and I've created this thing and I create these things, and you are very integral and very important. And now we get to see behind the scenes of who's really in charge.
Oh, thank
And it's
you.
Rebecca, all right? Without Rebecca, shit don't fly. Right?
Yeah, thank you. I know most of the people in the chat, so it's like kind of the whole group. Yeah, a lot of us we've met in person, so over the years. I met Patrick actually at a spiritual retreat in a place called Tubac, Arizona in 2014. So it was quite a wild investigation retreat there. 55 people. We had all kind of crazy stuff happen, but it was cool. So yeah, so that's kind of how that started, and yeah, it's been a journey.
Well, Rebecca, thank you, Kartron, thank
Nice
you,
to meet
Patrick.
you, and
I'm
gonna
looking
send
I'm
this
looking
back
at this
over to
beautiful
you.
I'm looking at this beautiful backdrop, and I see Florida, and I see this redonkulous two palm trees, one for sure. This beautiful light source, this beautiful blonde lady, this beautiful man who is passionate and sincere about not what he does. It's not, he doesn't do anything. It's what he is. It's like what you, Rebecca, are. It's like what I am. It's like what we are. We may call it we're doing a something. We're not doing a something. It's what we are. So I want to acknowledge you and my audience. My audience is chiming in the forum saying, Rebecca, 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 Rebecca. So you're loved dearly beyond measure.
Thank you. We'll stop by when definitely in Memphis sometime.
I dare you. You better hold on tight. In fact,
Actually, it's funny because there's a trip to New York where I'm gonna fly up. I have a class to do up there, and then it was debated on whether the trip back down would be a road trip. So
you know what?
that'd be
You can pass this on to Patrick, and then Kartron will automatically hear it. So I'm thinking that Patrick and Keith, would do an hangout session with Kartron and Yanava, my spiritual soul. And it's not about a tit for tat. It's not about being in an argument or
No.
debate who's going to one up each other, but about falling into that spiritual energy between Kartron and Yanava and bouncing off each other and playing with the energy as we all go into a state of moksha, liberation. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Blessings. Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard here. I just had a beautiful interview with...
Yeah, so Rebecca, that's what she gets. She came up and says, it's been 2 hours. It's like, aha, on the screen, the young lady. Thank you. Oh, Rebecca, I don't know if you guys know, but Rebecca does these amazing transmissions. She just did an ancestral clearing of 1,000 ancestor lines, generations, and then she does this manifestation thing, and then she does the spotlight healing. If you guys are lucky enough, for an hour she'll come on and she will send and project amplified angel energy. So Rebecca is coming up with a new system, and so stay tuned for that, everybody. Rebecca Renee with biblical spelling. So Keith, thank you so much for
bro. And I say bro, I'm gonna call you bro, not only as Patrick, I'm gonna call you bro as Kartron, because we are bros. We are cosmic bros. Bro ham sandwich. Everyone, Keith Anthony Blanchard, it's good to see you. Kartron, Patrick, Rebecca, thank you. I am always here. Let me know what you're doing. Whenever you're doing it, we can always create an interview just because. Rebecca, I'm gonna leave it to you to friend request me if we have not already.
Friend request.
Yeah, by all means. Keith Anthony Blanchard here. Yanava. What is Yanava? That sounds like a bunch of horse hockey, a bunch of tomfoolery. I like Tom and I like fooling around. Ya, heart, God will. I will do this thing. That's a future event. I will have the power to make this. Oh my God, listen to this. I have the power in my will, because I will make this future event happen. How imbued with light and divinity are you? You are. Simply, I'm going to be doing a presentation in a little bit on the wall about my time with Swamiji Visvayogi, God Realized Man from India. And we're going to have a bunch of redonkulous fun. Keith Anthony Blanchard, notify me when Keith goes live.
Thank you,
The world
guys.
is getting serious. It requires you to be serious-er or seriously. I love you beyond measure. It is my pleasure to be in the treasure trove with you. See you soon.
Yeah, there's something big out there, okay?
There's
No,
something
it is.
really big in there.
Oh, it's out there in the bay. No,
Yes.
it's like a whale or something. I mean, this thing is like not a good time to swim at night. Keith, we'll talk to you later. Thank you so much, man. This is like really cool.
I love that everyone heard you say that. You are a blessing. Thank you, Rebecca. And I will be seeing you both as well very soon. Peace, love, and live in the light.
Yes. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.